Hey Reddit. Throwaway account for obvious reasons. I never thought I'd be the guy posting something like this, but here we are. I, 34M, have been married to my wife, 32F, let's call her Rachel, for 5 years. We've been together for 8. Honestly, our relationship had always felt pretty solid, or at least I thought it was. We met through mutual friends, clicked right away, and she had this fiery personality that always kept things interesting. She could be sarcastic and a little too blunt, but I chalked that up to her just being real. In hindsight, yeah, that wasn't what it was. My best friend, let's call him Mike, has been in my life since we were kids. Literally grew up on the same street. Went to college together. He was the best man at our wedding. He's been like a brother to me. Hell, when my dad passed 2 years ago, Mike was the one who helped me through it the most. Anyway, I started noticing things felt off about 6 months ago. Rachel started getting super defensive over her phone. I'm not the kind of guy who snoops. I always felt like if you need to go through someone's phone, the trust is already gone, but she started acting weird. Always keeping it face down. Taking it with her into the bathroom. Laughing at texts she wouldn't explain. And when I'd ask, it was always, "You're being paranoid," or, "God, don't be so controlling." Around the same time, she started going out for drinks with coworkers, a lot more. I didn't want to be the jealous husband, so I didn't say much. But something in my gut didn't sit right. She'd come home later and later, sometimes half drunk and barely coherent, sometimes stone-cold sober and distant. And Mike? He stopped coming around as much. Said work was crazy. But when we did hang out, he seemed on edge. Fidgety. Not like himself. I thought maybe he was going through something, and I kept telling him, "Hey man, you can talk to me." The irony, right? Still, I buried it. I told myself I was imagining things. That I was being insecure. That Rachel was just stressed, Mike was just busy, and I was just in my head. Turns out, my instincts were screaming for a reason. So this happened about 2 months ago, and even writing it out now still feels like I'm reliving a car crash in slow motion. It was a Wednesday, random as hell. I wasn't supposed to be home until 6 or 7 because of a last-minute late meeting at work. But the client cancelled, so I thought, cool, I'll surprise Rachel and maybe grab dinner on the way. I texted her, got no reply, but figured maybe she was napping or in the shower. I pull into the driveway, and everything looks normal. Her car's there. Mike's isn't, which will matter in a second. I walk in through the garage like always. House is weirdly quiet. Our dog doesn't even come running, which is already a red flag. He always barks or runs to the door when someone comes home. Then I hear it. Voices. Upstairs. And I swear, my stomach knew before my brain caught up. There's this sixth sense you get in moments like that. The tone of the voices. The pacing. The awkward silence between words. My whole body went ice cold. I walked upstairs, dead silent. Our bedroom door. Cracked open. I pushed it. And there they were. Rachel and Mike. In our bed. I didn't even say anything at first. I just stared. I think my brain went into some kind of shock because I literally remember thinking, this doesn't even look real. Like I was watching some messed up movie where the two people I trusted the most were naked and scrambling to cover themselves in my damn sheets. Rachel screamed, "Oh my God, what are you doing home?" Mike just froze. Pale. Like a kid who got caught stealing. I said nothing. Just walked out. Straight down the stairs. I don't even remember breathing. Rachel ran after me, still trying to get her clothes on, yelling, "Wait. It's not what it looks like." That's actually what she said. That old cliché line from every bad soap opera, and she said it like I was some kind of idiot. I didn't stop. I got in my car and drove. Parked at a gas station and just sat there. My hands were shaking so bad I couldn't even hold my phone to call anyone. That was the moment it hit me. Everything I thought was solid in my life had just cracked wide open. After sitting in my car for what felt like hours, I finally drove back, not because I wanted to talk to her, but because my dog was still there. I didn't want to leave him alone with that. When I got back, Rachel was already dressed, pacing in the living room like she was rehearsing a speech. Mike was gone. Of course. The moment I walked in, she started with, "Can we just talk about this?" I didn't say anything. Just stared at her. And she had the audacity to act offended. I know it looks bad, but it only happened once. Me, I didn't even ask you anything yet. You weren't supposed to be home. You ambushed me. Yeah. She said I ambushed her. In my own house. That I pay for. Then she shifted into full defense mode, and let me tell you, Rachel was not the type to cry and beg. She was cold, calculated. She actually tried flipping it on me. She goes. "You've been distant for months. You never initiate anything anymore. You're always tired or distracted. What did you expect me to do?" I lost it. I expected you not to *** my best friend, Rachel. She didn't even flinch. She just stared at me like I was the problem. No remorse. No real apology. Just excuses. Then she pulled the emotional support card. We were both going through stuff. Mike's been having a hard time. I was confused. It wasn't even supposed to happen. I laughed. Actually laughed. Because the level of mental gymnastics it took for her to justify what she did, in our bed, with my best friend, was mind-blowing. I asked her how long it had been going on. She said, "A few weeks." I didn't believe her. Still don't. The way they acted around each other, the distance, the excuses, it had to be longer. Way longer. Then she hit me with this gem. "Well, now that it's out in the open, maybe we can finally be honest with each other. Maybe this was what we needed to shake things up. Like cheating was some kind of twisted couples therapy." I told her to leave. That night. She refused. Said she wasn't going to be thrown out of her own house like garbage. So I packed a bag. Took the dog. Crashed at my brother's for a few days. The silence after that night was deafening. The first few days after I left were a blur. You'd think the worst part was catching them in the act, right? But no. That was just the lightning strike. What came after, that slow burn, that's what tore me apart. At my brother's place, I barely slept. Barely ate. I kept replaying everything in my head on a loop. Every moment. Every inside joke I ever shared with Mike. Every "I love you" Rachel ever said to me. I couldn't make it make sense. You know that feeling when your reality cracks and you don't know what's real anymore? That was me. I'd think about the time Rachel and I vacationed in Costa Rica, how happy we looked in photos. Were any of those moments real? Was she thinking about Mike even then? And Mike. Jesus. He'd held my mother's hand at my dad's funeral. He helped me move furniture when Rachel and I bought this house. He was there the night I proposed. And all the while, he was capable of this. What kind of person do you have to be to look a man in the eye for years and still stab him in the back with a smile? The betrayal came in waves. 1 minute I was furious. The next, I was just hollow. Rachel texted a few times. Mostly surface-level crap at first. "Can we talk? I miss you. You left without giving me a chance to explain." Eventually, her texts got colder too. Like she was flipping a switch. "You're being dramatic. We both messed up in this marriage, not just me. If you're not going to work on this, then don't expect me to wait around. Yeah. That last one hit like a gut punch. She cheated. She blew up our lives. And suddenly, I'm the one dragging my feet. I went back to the house once, a few days later, when I knew she was at work. Just to grab a few more things. Walking into that space felt like stepping onto a crime scene. Everything looked the same, furniture, photos, the stupid candle she always lit, but it felt dead. Like the whole house was gaslighting me. I sat on the edge of the bed for a minute, not to be dramatic, just because I needed to feel the pain to move through it. That bed used to be safe. Now it felt contaminated. And the worst part? I still missed her. That's the thing no one tells you, you can hate someone and still grieve losing them. I wish I could say that after the initial storm, I went no contact and started healing like a champ. Yeah, no. For the first week or two, I tried. Blocked Rachel on everything. Blocked Mike too, though I doubt he'd have the balls to reach out. I even deleted our old group chats because just seeing our stupid inside jokes made me sick. But ghosting people you've built your life around? It's not as clean-cut as TikTok self-help clips make it out to be. I kept seeing reminders everywhere. My Spotify. Full of playlists she made. I couldn't even listen to music without hearing a song that reminded me of her dancing in the kitchen with our dog. The grocery store. I accidentally walked past her favorite wine and just froze for like 2 minutes. Some poor employee actually asked if I was okay. Even my dog, my sweet, confused Labrador, would whine at the door sometimes like he was waiting for her to come home. He didn't understand the shift, the cold space where warmth used to live. Then there was the mail. A wedding invitation addressed to both of us. From friends who still didn't know what happened. I stared at it for a while, wondering how long I'd have to keep pretending my life hadn't been torn in half. And then, like clockwork, Rachel texted again. This time from a different number. You can't ignore me forever. I made a mistake. We both did. But I still love you. That last line messed me up. Because here's the thing, a part of me still wanted to believe her. I wanted to believe that it was a mistake, that it wasn't planned, that maybe, just maybe, if we'd done something differently, it wouldn't have happened. But I also knew better. You don't just, accidentally, sleep with someone multiple times. In your husband's bed. With his best friend. That's not a mistake. That's a decision, one she made over and over again while lying to my face. Still, I almost texted her back. I didn't. But I hovered. For a long time. I realized I wasn't just grieving her. I was grieving the version of myself I was with her. The man who believed in her, who thought love meant loyalty, who thought forever actually meant forever. Ghosting someone? That's easy. Ghosting the version of you that still loves them? That's the hard part. So, just when I thought the emotional roller coaster was slowing down, guess who decides to make a grand reappearance? Yeah. Mike. I was at my brother's place, sitting on the porch with a beer, trying to pretend I was fine. It was one of those weirdly quiet evenings where everything feels too still. And then this black SUV rolls up. At first, I thought it was an Amazon delivery or something. But nope, out steps Mike, looking like someone who's been sleeping in his car and watching too many apology videos on YouTube. He walks up with this guilty puppy dog face like he's about to win me back with a Hallmark speech. Me, you have 30 seconds before I call the cops. Mike, I just wanted to explain. Me, what's there to explain, man? You were supposed to be my brother. You were family. He keeps going, of course. Said it wasn't planned. Said it started emotionally and then spiraled. That Rachel was vulnerable and he was confused. That he never meant to hurt me. Yeah, because sleeping with your best friend's wife just accidentally happens, right? Then, get this, he says. I didn't come here to fight. I came because I need your forgiveness. I can't live with this guilt. I told him the truth. Good. You shouldn't be able to live with it. I could see he wasn't expecting that. I think he really believed I'd throw a punch or cry or something. Instead, I just stared through him. Like he wasn't even there anymore, because, in a way, he wasn't. I asked him one question before I walked back inside. Did it ever occur to you that I would have done anything for you? That I had your back no matter what? You burned that, man. For what? A few nights with my wife. He didn't answer. Just stood there like an idiot while I closed the door in his face. And that was the last time I saw him. At least, in person. A few days later, a mutual friend texted me. Apparently Mike and Rachel were talking again. Not together, officially. But seeing each other. Figuring things out. Of course they were. I didn't even feel surprised at that point. Just tired. Tired of hoping people were better than they actually are. So, about a week after Mike's uninvited doorstep moment, I get this envelope in the mail. No return address. But I knew the handwriting immediately, Rachel's cursive, neat and calculated like everything she did when she wanted to seem put together. I stared at it for a good 10 minutes before opening it. I don't even know why I opened it. Curiosity. Closure. Masochism. Inside was a 3-page letter. Handwritten. Perfumed. You ever read something that makes your blood boil and your heart ache at the same time? That was this. She started with the usual. I'm so sorry for the pain I've caused you. This isn't who I am. I never meant for any of this to happen. And then, not even halfway down the first page, it flipped. She started talking about how our marriage had issues. How I had, emotionally checked out, for months before anything happened. How she tried to communicate but I shut down. And how Mike was there for her, in a way I refused to be. She actually wrote. If you had been more present, maybe I wouldn't have looked elsewhere. Like the whole thing was my fault. Like I handed her the keys and told her to go crash the damn car. But the cherry on top. She ended the letter with. I'll always love you, but I'm also learning to love myself, and that means being honest about what I need. So cheating with my best friend was some kind of self-love journey now? Are you kidding me? I didn't respond, obviously. I didn't even finish the last page. I just folded it back up, walked it to the backyard, and lit it on fire in the grill. Felt poetic, honestly. I watched the flames eat the paper and thought, that's all the closure I need. Because let's be real, that letter wasn't an apology. It was a PR stunt. A rebrand. A way to rewrite the story where she's not the villain. But I was done being cast as the antagonist in her little redemption arc. It's weird, the stuff that helps. Not the pep talks from friends. Not the inspirational quotes. Definitely not the, you deserve better, king, comments, even though I appreciated them, don't get me wrong. What really helped, was routine. Just stupid little things. Waking up early. Making my own damn coffee instead of grabbing it on the way to work. Taking my dog for long walks, which, side note, he started looking way healthier than me. I swear he was thriving while I looked like a tired extra in a post-apocalyptic drama. I also started journaling. Not because I wanted to heal through writing, but because I kept thinking of things I should have said during those fights. You know what I mean? Like, hours or days later, I'd think of the perfect comeback, or a question that would have exposed her lies on the spot. So I started writing those down. Eventually that turned into writing everything down. There's something therapeutic about seeing your chaos in black and white. At work, things were tense. Everyone knew something had gone down. Mike had taken an indefinite leave, translation. The bosses told him to vanish quietly before HR got involved, and I started getting these weird, overly polite check-ins from upper management. Probably trying to avoid a lawsuit or whatever. Funny thing is, I actually started doing better at my job. Like, way better. Once I wasn't spending every waking second worrying about Rachel's mood swings or trying to read between the lines of her "everything's fine" texts, I had a lot more mental energy. Who knew? One day, my manager pulled me aside and said, "You've been killing it lately. It's good to see you focused." I just nodded and said thanks. But inside, I thought, it's not focus. It's survival. Alright. So, just when I was starting to find some semblance of peace, like actual peace, not just pretending to be fine peace, life, of course, said, "Hold my beer." I was at the grocery store. Classic rom-com setup. Grabbing almond milk or some other boring item, and there she was. Rachel. In the produce section. Wearing that same smug look she always had when she thought she was about to get her way. She looked surprised at first, like maybe she wasn't expecting to run into me in the wild. But she recovered fast. Too fast. "Hey, wow. You look good." No greeting. No guilt. Just that. I said nothing at first. Just nodded and turned the cart to move on. But of course, she followed. Because narcissists hate unresolved attention. "Can we talk for a minute? I've been thinking about you." I sighed. "You thought about me before, too. Didn't stop you from sleeping with Mike." She winced a little. That tiny crack in her mask. I lived for it in that moment. But then she pulled it back together and launched into her usual monologue. What we had was real. I messed up. I know that now. But I also know you still care. That line hit different. Because yeah, part of me did still care. But not in the way she thought. It wasn't love. It wasn't longing. It was grief. Grief for the person I thought she was. So I told her that. "I don't hate you, Rachel. I just don't know who you are anymore. And honestly, I don't want to." Her face dropped then. The realization that her hold on me, her control, was gone. And that was the moment I felt free. I left her there by the bananas. Didn't look back. I went home. Put the groceries away. Took the dog for a walk. And for the first time since the whole nightmare started, I slept like a damn rock. Alright, Reddit, this is the part where I'm supposed to give advice, right? Wrap it all up with a little bow and pretend I'm wise now because I crawled through a dumpster fire and lived to tell the tale. So here it is. My lessons, if you want to call them that. 1. Trust your gut. I knew something was wrong. Months before I ever saw anything. Her coldness. The weird defensiveness. The way she clung to her phone like it was a bomb and I had the detonator. I ignored it because I loved her, or rather, I loved the version of her that existed before the betrayal. Don't gaslight yourself just because someone else is doing it first. 2. If someone lies easily, they'll cheat easily. Rachel lied the way most people breathe, casually, constantly, and only noticed when she stopped. Looking back, there were so many little red flags I shrugged off. But people who lie about small things don't magically grow integrity when the stakes are higher. They just get sneakier. 3. Your best friend isn't always your best friend. I miss Mike, or at least who I thought Mike was. That kind of betrayal hits different, deeper. But I learned that loyalty means nothing without character. Blood might be thicker than water, but trust is thicker than both. 4. Healing doesn't look like revenge. It looks like peace. Believe me, I had fantasies. Keying his car. Blowing up her spot publicly. Petty emails to HR. But I didn't do any of it. Not because I'm better, trust me, I'm not. But because I didn't want to be stuck in their world anymore. Peace isn't passive. It's a choice. A hard one. 5. You are not the sum of what someone did to you. I spent months thinking, what did I do wrong? Why wasn't I enough? And eventually, I realized, that's not my burden to carry. Someone else's decision to be a coward, to betray, to lie, that doesn't make me less worthy. It makes them smaller. So yeah. That's the story. I'm not over it, whatever that means. But I'm moving. I'm growing. I'm sleeping. I'm laughing again. And that's something. If you're going through it right now, if you're reading this with that pit in your stomach and the tears won't stop, just know. You're not crazy. You're not alone. And you will come out the other side.